Greetings, everyone. Well, I was originally going to do this just as a DVD update back when I got it. I actually bought this, I don't know, sometime in the middle of October. But then I watched everything on it and thought, well, why don't I just do an in-depth DVD review of it, sort of as an addendum to my previous one. By the way, if you're wondering what this is the Boss ME30 Guitar Effects Box. And what it is this is the effects box from Two Guys and an Effects Box, which some of my longer-term viewers may remember was a project I was doing a couple of years ago. So anyway, this is the actual effects box from Two Guys and an Effects Box. Actually, the one we used for most of the recordings was one that I had borrowed from my uncle, and then he wanted it back. So I got this one on eBay for like a song and a dance, and it's actually in better condition than his was, so not too bad. Anyway, today we're going to talk about The Evil Dead Ultimate Edition from Anchor Bay Entertainment. Is it worth it if you've already got any of the umpteen other Evil Dead editions that are out there? Well, let's find out today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back, everyone. Well, The Evil Dead Ultimate Edition, the 3-disc Ultimate Edition. Is it worth it if you've got, say, the Book of the Dead Edition, or the Old Elite Entertainment Edition, or any of the 18 gajillion other DVD editions? In a word, yes. Yes, it is. Now, this one I mentioned in my DVD disambiguation / review video of the various Evil Dead DVDs. This one is worth getting just for the collectible packaging. That's really the only reason to get this. Is, you get the beautiful thing, the ear on the back. It smells really funky. Apparently some of the UK edition of this doesn't smell, just the Region 1 edition. It comes with a nice book, and I showed you a lot of this in the previous videos. So anyway, it's got like really cool artwork in it and stuff, and it's all reproductions of actual artwork from the original Book of the Dead from the movie. So it's a cool collectible, but the transfer itself is not very good. It's, as I think DVD Mike 007 put it, yeah, supervised by Sam Raimi, yeah, if he was blind. Actually, I think he was referring to the second Evil Dead, but anyway, I think that assessment applies to both of them. So hi, DVD Mike. Just a little shout out for you. Yeah, so the big question a lot of people were asking me is the 3-disc edition worth it as an upgrade? Well, I think yes. I think it is. And the phone's ringing, so we'll talk about that in just a moment. Okay, been a while since that happened, hasn't it? Yeah, I try to sort of time when I'm shooting these to not be phone call magnets, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Annette is actually out doing some Christmas shopping right now, so she was just calling to touch base, and I'm going to meet up with her in about an hour or so to do some grocery shopping, because we've been eating out all week and it's getting a little expensive and giving us indigestion a lot, so we're going to go get some real food so we can be healthy again. Alright, so is the Evil Dead Ultimate Edition worth it? Yes, it definitely is, for a few reasons. One of the complaints I had about the Book of the Dead edition was that it only has the widescreen version. Now, anybody who's familiar with the Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead movie, will know that it is not a widescreen movie. So what happens when you put a not in widescreen movie in widescreen means, well, the only way to do it is to crop off the top and bottom of the picture. And that's not good. I don't like it when they do that. In short, Evil Dead was filmed, composed, and printed in 4:3 aspect ratio, and it should only ever be viewed in 4:3 aspect ratio. The correct way to view 4:3 aspect ratio on a 16:9 screen is pillar boxed with black bars on the side, just like how the correct way to watch widescreen stuff on a 4:3 TV is letterboxed with black bars on the top and bottom. So there you go. So the nice thing about the Evil Dead Ultimate Edition is it actually includes both versions. You've got the widescreen cropped version and the original full screen version. So, well, I don't like to say full screen because widescreen is the new full screen, so we'll just say the original 4:3 version. So it's got both of them, and on their own discs. So you've got so each one has nice high bit rate and is as good a quality as can be. Now the bad news is the widescreen version is the exact same transfer that was on the Book of the Dead edition. So there's really no improvement in picture quality there. So that's the bad news. The good news is the full screen, the 4:3 version appears to be a whole new transfer that actually looks better than some of the older DVDs that had the full screen version. Previously, I think the general consensus was the best full screen. God, you got to unlearn. You got to unlearn when technology changes. The older 4:3 release that was considered the best was the Elite Entertainment one that was available for quite a while, and so I was curious to know how this transfer compared to that one, because I know that a lot of fans consider the Elite one the best one to get for a very long time. So I did some poking around on the internet and found some screenshot comparisons, some side-by-side shots showing the difference between the two transfers. And in terms of detail and such in the image, they're both pretty much identical. The only major difference, which you notice right off the bat, is the Anchor Bay transfer, which is this one, is a little bit darker than the Elite version. But here's the thing, that's not a bad thing, because in seeing the two side by side, it becomes quickly apparent that the Elite transfer was actually too bright. It was brighter than it should have been. So it's supposed to be a little bit dark, because that's just the way the film's supposed to look. So the Anchor Bay one seems to be the closest we've ever got to having a definitive, proper transfer of the film the way it is meant to be seen. So that's a big reason to get it, is it has what I think is the best 4:3 transfer that we've seen so far. And barring a pillar-boxed Blu-ray release, probably the best that's ever going to appear on DVD. Now, that's one reason to get it. The other reason to get it is look at all the extras. Well, there's French and English, I think. Yeah, there's French and English, because this is the Canadian edition. But you get a buttload of extras on this. The third disc is nothing but extras. It's all extras, called Ladies of the Evil Dead. Now, some people may be wondering, well, is it just about the girls? It's like, no, it's actually about everybody. The reason it's called Ladies of the Evil Dead is because they focus quite heavily on the Ladies of the Evil Dead. The three girls that were in the original movie have sort of created their own group in response to the fan base, and they go together to the conventions and everything. So it gives you a little bit of information about how they got together and formed that. Apparently most of them were unaware that the original Evil Dead had become such a huge cult classic and didn't even know about the fan base and such. But once they found out about it, they thought, oh, well, yeah, let's do something for it, because I mean, people want to hear from us too, not just Bruce all the time. So so they basically created their own little entity, as it were, to do the convention circuit and meet with fans and talk about the movie. So they have a little thing about that. Let me just read off I'll read off the special features here for you. So, okay, Disc 1. Disc 1, we've got the widescreen version of the film, and we have One by One We Will Take You, the untold saga of the Evil Dead, which is a cool behind-the-scenes documentary. And you've got audio commentary with Sam Raimi and producer Rob Tapert. Then, on Disc 2, the full-frame 4:3 version, you have The Evil Dead, Treasures from the Cutting Room Floor. Now this is really cool. If you're a big Evil Dead fan, this is just pure gold, because it's a full hour of outtakes and behind-the-scenes footage from the making of the movie. Now that's something really rare to see for, a small-scale, low-budget movie like Evil Dead. I mean, it's amazing that that material even still exists. But there's a full hour of it on there, and it's great. And it really gives you an insight into just the hell everyone went through to make this movie. It's great stuff. And then you also have audio commentary with Bruce Campbell. So you got two commentaries, which is great. So you got one with Sam Raimi and Rob Tapert, and then one with Bruce Campbell, Ash himself. And then finally, Disc 3, Ladies of the Evil Dead. This is the gold mine of stuff. You got Life After Death, The Ladies of the Evil Dead, where basically it's an interview with all three of them, where they talk about how they discovered the fandom and decided to form their own sort of, as I say, their own kind of entity to go to the conventions and stuff. Then they have Ladies of the Evil Dead Meet Bruce Campbell, where it's basically behind the scenes at a convention. They have a panel with Bruce and the Ladies of the Evil Dead and what's his face, who was the other guy in it. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. He was actually he did the movie under, I think, a pseudonym, so it's not even his real name. I can't remember. But anyway, the guy who played Scott or Steve. God, I'm terrible. The Evil Dead heads are just gonna have me for lunch now because I can't remember anybody. You know who I mean? The blonde guy. Anyway, so it's a panel with. Well, it's actually not a panel. It's like a behind the scenes thing. So it's got him. It's got Bruce Campbell. It's got all three of the girls and Ted Raimi. It doesn't have Sam Raimi, unfortunately, but Ted Raimi, who was just a kid when they made this originally and sort of helped out. He played some of the stand-in monsters and stuff, and helped out with some of the effects and whatnot. So they all basically just have stories to tell about the making of the movie and their experiences with fans over the years and everything. And then we have Discovering the Evil Dead, which is a carryover from the Book of the Dead edition and some of the other editions, I think. It's not a new documentary. It's basically about how the Evil Dead became such a huge hit and how it was marketed at the time. Pretty interesting. They actually released it on VHS at the same time it was in theaters, which is one of the few times that's been done for a film. So yeah, so it's quite an interesting story actually about the behind the scenes stuff there. And then we got At the Drive-In, which is a special screening of Evil Dead, which again has a panel question and answer thing with Bruce, the girls, and everybody. And that's a lot of fun. They got a trailer and TV spots. They got a makeup test for some of the like monster makeup. Poster and memorabilia gallery. Unconventional, which is a thing about their experiences with conventions. A reunion panel, which is a big panel of all of them, and it's just hilarious to watch because the way they interact with each other. So I'm stuttering. I'm so excited. The way they interact with each other is just priceless to watch. They're like a bickering old family, you know. It's like just pricelessly funny. So that's a lot of fun. And then they got a still gallery on there. So this is a really loaded package. So let me give you a look at the inside here. So this is of course the front and the side and the other side and the back, and the top and bottom are open, so you can just slide it out. There you go. And I'll try to do this just by holding it up for you. So it comes in this nice kind of book, like a gatefold book. Oh yeah, and here on the back we just have English. So it's like the slipcover is bilingual, and the inside it's just all English. So I don't know if you guys in the U.S. got the slipcover or not, but anyway. So we open it up, and we have chapter selections, and we also have a reproduction of one of the original posters. We continue opening it up. We have a booklet, which I'll get to in a minute, another poster reproduction, another poster reproduction, open it up again, another poster reproduction, first disc, and the remaining two discs. So there's the whole set unfolded. And let me just show you what's underneath the discs here. I'll just set the discs very carefully aside. So underneath the discs, we actually have 3 more poster reproductions. Yeah, there was a lot of posters for the Evil Dead. And speaking of posters, I actually made a mistake. It's not a booklet, but it's actually, let me just unfold this here. We actually have the original movie poster as a pack-in there. And then on the back, they have a poster, a reproduction of the restored version poster. Which is basically the same picture, but this is the painted version, and this is a photographic version. So it's really interesting to kind of flip back and forth and compare them. Now, I don't actually know what the history of these posters is. I don't know if the painting was done from the photo, like if this is the original photo the painting was made from, or if the photo is just a reproduction of the painting artwork in photographic form. I don't know. Maybe some of you Deadites out there can fill me in. So, yeah. So needless to say, this is a very beautifully deluxe edition, and sure to please even the most discriminating Evil Dead fanboy or girl. And yeah, I think it's totally worth picking up, even if you have previous editions, because Anchor Bay has really put together a truly, properly deluxe package here. Now, when this came out, I can't remember how much this went for when it originally came out. I think it was about $40. I got it for $20. It was on sale at Walmart around Halloween, part of their Halloween rack. This was the last copy they had. I totally lucked out, and I found it on their Halloween rack, hidden behind a bunch of movies nobody cared about. So it pays to dig around sometimes. So I think somebody was hiding that with the intention of coming back later, and I scooped them on it. Ha 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 ha! Sucker! Whoever you are, wherever you are. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Evil Dead, the Ultimate Edition 3-disc deluxe set from Anchor Bay. Definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of the movie. And a lot of the extras on there have never appeared on any previous edition, so you're getting a lot of new material. I mean, it'll take you a few hours to get through all those featurettes and such. And they're just a hoot. I mean, they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Just to see, you know, to hear their stories and to see how they interact with each other and with the fans and stuff like that. So pick it up if you haven't already. Alrighty, that's it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.